Many of us want to become disciplined because it allows you to do whatever you want, but not everyone can do it, even me. Since I started running, exercising and waking up at 3 am, my self-discipline has gone up tremendously, but I didn't have a strong constancy. I didn't even try to instill constancy, from which sometimes self-control fell, which I didn't like at all. Then on November 1st, 2022, I decided to start developing my self-discipline every day, 365 days. First of all, I wrote down all the rules that I will adhere to. I wrote everything I need to stay away from and what I need to develop. Then I created a table in which I put a score of 4 points every day, with which you can follow my every day, every victory and every failure. When you write down a schedule, you write down the trying things that you can and can do. And after you write it down, you no longer have questions about what you can and can do. You don't have any excuses for that you didn't know it, because you prescribed it. And this is your mistake, that if you follow that thing that you forbade yourself, or you don't do that thing that you should have done. And this also allows you to control yourself, in terms of assuring that you don't devise yourself, but clearly moving according to the schedule. At the same time, when you write something, you use the motor skills of your hands, which allows you to remember a lot of what you wrote. The bottom line is to gradually move on to the complex. So at the beginning I prescribed a schedule that was not very complicated, but already gradually day after day, when I realized that something had already been introduced and something was removed, I added to schedule what something new or removed something that introduced. The most difficult thing is not to introduce something, but to stick to it all the time. The difficulty is that you can't always control everything, especially when that thing has just appeared in your life, from which something starts to fall, but it's temporary. It was hard to be honest with yourself too, especially when you are making such progress in public. I want to look the best in my own eyes and in the eyes of other people, but all the mistakes were mine and I myself was to blame for them. But gradually I learned to admit my failures. Since the beginning of the persistency, I have had problems with eating and sleeping. In nutrition, I got used to trying foods, such as sweet and starchy food, and therefore it was difficult to get rid of them. But I replaced them with healthier food, such as honey and nuts, and now everything is fine. There were also difficulties with sleep. My priorities were more to close the task and then go to bed, and so I failed the day. After 30 days, after a month, everything that was difficult at the beginning gradually became familiar and not difficult, which allowed me to keep this constancy. Sometimes it's difficult to get up, especially for me because I get up at 3 am, but I always get up, even when I really don't want to, because I created a meaning in it for myself, and now getting up early has meaning for me. And so 30 days passed. During these days I had several failures because of myself, but these failures showed me my weakness, which I then pumped over. And I realized one thing: self-discipline is not some kind of skill, it is an ability that everyone has, but only those who want it can use it. By the way, after 30 days, it becomes much easier for you to seek the schedule, the rules that you prescribe it, because day by day you adapt to these rules, and thus even in 30 days everything starts to change for the better, which is really cool. No matter how well everything went, most often I had failures with nutrition. I didn't return to the previous products, but sometimes I ate something that was harmful and then excluded it. Здесь тоже есть сахар. By the way, in this way I create a list of what wasn't it. After about 50 days I found my own key to nutrition. I realized how important what you eat is and how it pours into me, my results and my life. After 50 days, I found a great key to good nutrition. I created beliefs in my head that what you eat directly affects the functioning of your body. If you eat bad food, the body works poorly. If you eat good food, the body works great and recovers too, which is very important for me because I want to train and run a lot. And if I don't eat right, I won't get far. In general, I specifically began to create beliefs in myself, which helped me to easily get down to the difficult and not get attached to the bad, which really works. Day after day, each day I completed taught me to develop consistency in myself. Each failure helped me to notice weakness and work on them, and thus I reached 100 days. About 18 days of getting up at 3 AM. 84 days completely closed, and exactly one life changed. After 100 days of victories and defeats, I came to the conclusion that until everything you do is introduced in your life, you cannot let go of the focus on it. After going through 100 days of focus and improvement on something specific, you instill it in yourself on an ongoing basis. 84 days were completely green. In other words, I completed these days. I learned a lot, get a lot, and I radically changed my life. But the most important lesson that I have learned is not to lose focus until you implement that thing. Set at least 100 days to full implementation. But in fact, some things need more than 100 days, much more. And create a strong meaning. Then the thing will significate for you, which will make you start implementing it for the wall.